This is a story that needs to be told for many reasons. One, it involves one of the most heinous crimes you can imagine. Two, the victim was a 14-year-old little girl. Three, the victim is also a Native American female, which made her 10 times more likely to encounter violence. And four, the perpetrator is still out there somewhere. Hi, I'm T of Bed Crime Stories. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Please do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe. Leave me a comment. And if you want to support my channel, please consider a PayPal donation or perhaps a channel membership. And with that out of the way, let's dig in. This is 14-year-old Emily Pike. She snuck out of the group home she was living at in Mesa, Arizona around 8 p.m. on Friday, January 27th of 2025. Emily was living in this group home in order to access medical resources that she could not get on the reservation where her family lives. Now, a friend of hers said that Emily wanted to go and see a boy that she met during her guitar lessons. According to the group home, Emily climbed out of a bedroom window while a church group was at the home visiting and doing activities with the other residents. When the manager noticed Emily was missing, she called the Mesa police to report the situation. Inexplicably, a week went by before anybody bothered to tell Emily's parents that she was missing. Her parents lived more than 100 miles away on the San Carlos Apache Reservation. So Emily had already been gone 7 days before her parents found out. That had to be one of the most sinking feelings a parent can experience. Then on February 14th, Valentine's Day, remains were found in Globe, Arizona, about 100 miles away from the group home. They were in very unique plastic bags. They were heavy-duty contractor bags, meaning used by builders and people who work in that industry. The bags were discarded on a remote Forest Service road off the US 60. The Forest Service road is known as 355. The body had been cut up, and horrifically, the arms and hands were missing. So did the perpetrator want to keep those somewhere else or hide them somewhere else, hoping that the victim would not be identified? Or perhaps are these trophies for this perpetrator? 2 weeks later, the remains were identified as belonging to Emily Pike. The authorities say that her face showed signs of bruising, indicating that somebody might have laid fists on her or something else. Emily's friend believes that Emily may have been hitchhiking home to the reservation to visit her parents at the time. So she may have been picked up by somebody driving down the road. Reporters dug into this story and Emily Pike's history. They discovered that Emily was reported missing 3 times from the group home in 2023, and then this 4th time in January of 2025. Now, all 3 of these reports from 2023 say that Emily and or another child told officers that they did not want to go back to the group home. And in each case in 2023, Emily was either returned to the group home or she was taken to a behavioral health center. And what is somewhat upsetting is that dozens of missing persons reports were made for other children over the course of a 3-year period for this same group home. And FYI, the group home in Mesa is said to have 10 beds to house girls ages 7 through 17. Now, Emily was not in the care of the Arizona Department of Child Safety. Instead, she had been entrusted to Sacred Journey Inc., who runs this group home. Let's go over the reports that were made about Emily in 2023. There's one from September 11th, when Emily and another child were reported missing by group home staff. Now let's talk about the reports. There's one from September 11th of 2023, when Emily and another girl were reported missing by the group home staff. An employee told an officer she'd given Emily and the other girl medication, but when she went back to check on them, the two girls were gone. Per the report, there are cameras in the hallways and in the office of the group home, but the two girls supposedly were not seen leaving. The employee said that they must have climbed out a bedroom window and exited out of a side gate. One of the girls had a, quote, secret cell phone that had been confiscated the night before. So apparently the girls in this group home are not allowed to have cell phones, and that's pretty common in group homes. The two girls were later found at a Mesa playground. Emily and the other girl told the officers they didn't want to go back to the home because the workers at the home make them, the girls, work, and they also have to get on their hands and knees and scrub grout on tile. And one of the girls was so upset that she told the officer she would run away again if she was taken back. She also said she would rather go to jail or live with her grandmother. Now, it's not clear if that was Emily or the other girl. This place, to me, sounds like one of those horrid homes that we see in movies where they have unwed mothers back in the day. At least I hope it was back in the day. Ever seen those movies? Usually they take place in Ireland, and there are young women that are put in these religious institutions, and then they're forced to work in laundries and iron clothing, clean the place. To me, this sounds abusive. After all, these are just little girls. Emily was probably 12 or 13 in 2023. And we know that Emily did have a grandmother and that she, Emily, was her grandmother's only grandchild. The next report is from just 9 days later. Officers spotted a teenager matching her description walking toward the group home. Emily told the officer she didn't want to go back to the group home because, quote, it makes her uncomfortable when the staff gets into arguments with other juveniles in the home, end quote. So this place sounds pretty awful, in my opinion. Of course, these are the descriptions of the girls. Were they exaggerating? I don't know. The next report is from October 31st of 2023. Emily was reported missing during the evening hours. The next report is from October 31st of 2023. Emily was reported missing during the evening hours. A group home employee told the police that the then 13-year-old Emily left on foot. Around 9:15 p.m., the home called officers to let them know that Pike had returned. So this group home reports people missing anytime the girls leave without permission. So if they step out to walk to the corner grocery store, they get reported missing. Now, in 2024, there seem to be no missing persons reports for Emily. And I'm not sure if this is because she wasn't living there that year, or did she not run away during those 12 months? And then there's the most recent report from Friday, January 27th, 2025. The group home, which is near Mesa Drive and McKellips Road, well, the manager of that home told the Mesa police that Emily left out of her bedroom window and that the screen had been pushed out from the inside. The original call was made at 8:19 p.m., and the person indicated Emily had left approximately 13 minutes earlier. The group home manager told the officer that the last time Emily ran away, she was found near Fitch Park in Mesa. The next day, on January 28th, the police spoke to a group home employee who told them that Emily was on a medication for mental health and behavioral issues. The employee also provided a contact for Emily's case manager with the San Carlos Apache tribe. The next day, on January 29th, a missing bulletin was sent out statewide. Keep in mind that Emily's parents still had not been told she was missing. Also keep in mind that whoever ultimately harmed Emily may have kept her alive for mere hours or possibly for many days. And I don't even want to try and imagine how terrifying this must have been for Emily. And we know, of course, that it wasn't until February 14th that people hiking on a trail near mile marker 277 off the US 60 found the bags containing the remains. Now, although the police told Emily's mother they had 3 suspects, no one has been charged, and it's really unclear if there are 3 suspects or any suspects. This poor little girl at her age probably had no idea that people that evil exist. Her tribe has announced a $75,000 reward for information leading to Emily's perpetrator. Nobody's been charged, and it's unclear if there really are any suspects at this point. Sadly, Emily is not the only Native American female to end up unalived. It is so prevalent among Native American females. And there's also no alert system currently in place in Arizona to notify the public when an indigenous person is missing and or in danger. Who did this to her? Was it a trucker driving by on US 60? Was it somebody who works in construction? And is that why the remains were in contractor garbage bags? Was it somebody she knows? Or was it a stranger who looked okay to her, so she got in their vehicle? Or maybe it was somebody who didn't look okay, but who forced her into their vehicle. The police believe that Emily was taken somewhere and that is where she was unalived. And we know that this person cut things apart, which is a labor. It takes time. It takes specific tools. You have to have the stomach for it. It takes a certain elevated level of violence and antisocial traits to do to Emily what was done. So are we dealing with a serialist? We know that another girl went missing from the same group home, and she has yet to be found, despite somebody from the group home saying that they know that she's okay, they just don't know exactly where she is, which to me sounds pretty shady. We also know that a Native American man was found unalived in a car in September of 2021, and that car was parked off the US 60 at milepost 277 in the same area where Emily Pike was found. So was that crime committed by the same perpetrator, or is that another perpetrator and it's just a coincidence that the 2 bodies were found in the same general area? Now, currently, the police don't know exactly what caused Emily's death. They don't have a weapon, and the cause of death is still under investigation. The police, as I said, believe that Emily was likely unalived in one location, placed in those contractor bags, which were then discarded like garbage out on that remote Forest Service road. Do they have security camera footage from that area? And apparently there is a way that they can process the plastic bag to find evidence, possibly fibers, possibly fingerprints on that bag. And then, of course, there's also cell phone data. Can they triangulate whichever cell phones were in that area during that period of time? Emily's aunt, April Victor, described her as a spark, and said she definitely sparked the world, and the world is now on fire because of Emily. Emily loved butterflies, all things pink and sparkly. She was still a little girl. She was shy, she was soft-spoken, she was very, very sweet. She loved her grandmother, she loved her parents, she loved her family, her cousins, her friends. CDC data indicates that Native American women and girls have an unaliving rate that is 10 times higher than the national average. I have one word for that: unacceptable. Now, if you have any information related to Emily Pike and this crime, you can submit tips at tip411.com. You can also call the Gila County Sheriff's Office. Whether you're Native American or not, this perpetrator is still out there. So if the MO is for little girls, if you have a little girl, you're not going to want this person out there. If you know something, say something, and let's get justice for Emily. Until the next time on Bed Crime Stories, please subscribe, leave me a comment, and I will see you next time.